What's good, YouTube? Dmgaming here, guys. In today's video, I wanted to talk about Ghost of Tsushima. Now, I want to apologize first and foremost because the post that I made yesterday, I said Ghost of Tsushima dropping tomorrow. I don't know why it wasn't in there. I meant to put video. I mean, guys, y'all watch the channel, so of course y'all know I know that Ghost of Tsushima, like the game, wasn't coming out today. But there were still some who thought that I was saying the game was dropping tomorrow. And I apologize because that's my fault. I left out the word video to let y'all know that what I was saying was I was dropping a Ghost of Tsushima video today. But anyway, guys, I'm putting a link to this article in the description box down below. Or actually, since y'all don't read the description box, I'll put it in the pinned comment on the video. This is interesting. So it's talking about mastering the katana. And guys, I didn't get my hair cut. It's just braided. But anyway. It's talking about mastering the katana, and it's some very interesting stuff in here. I am not going to read everything word for word. I'm going to kind of just go over and hit some of the high points that they talk about. Guys, reading this, looking at this game, Ghost of Tsushima, it's starting to evolve more. It's starting to open up more. They're releasing more information. Comes out next month, by the way. And this game is not, for those of you who said Assassin's Creed with samurai swords, no, this game is not going to be Assassin's Creed. This game is going to be, in my opinion, more difficult than Assassin's Creed, but not as difficult as like a Dark Souls game or like a Neo game or a Sekiro game. I don't think it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be as difficult as those games, but it is going to be more difficult than an Assassin's Creed game. You have different things in the game, such as stances. Stances are important. How you attack the opponent is important. It's not one of those games. It's not a hack and slash game where you just go in guns, swords blazing, I guess, just slicing everything up. If you do that, you are going to die. There is some skill involved. So, you know, it almost sounds like Assassin's Creed meets For Honor meets Neo or something to that effect. Like, and I'm not talking about as far as difficulty, I'm just saying there's a lot of things working here, but when you read this article and you see some of the videos, it makes sense and it's exciting and I can't wait to see it. Different from Assassin's Creed, guys. This game, like when Assassin's Creed, you had a group of people, dude. You could just, I mean, it was simple. They did change that a little bit more with Odyssey and Origins. Like fighting a group of people wasn't as easy in Assassin's Creed, but I think this game takes it even to another level, even though they're not even related. But anyway, so first they talk about speed, and they talk about in the speed section, they talk about how difficult it is, or not so much how difficult it is, but how reaction time is key, and how they programmed Jin in the game to be able to, when you perform a quick attack, that it's quick, like it's quick, it's very responsive and things like that. A part of the reason that they focus on speed, or why speed is a factor, is because you're going to be facing off against multiple enemies at one time. So, you know, his speed comes into play as far as his attacks, but also more so in his defense. And I'm interested to see that. Now, I don't know if there is a way that you can increase your speed, if that's a stat that you can increase or anything like that. But they do talk about it, and they said that it is very important. They said here, they was talking about some of the stuff that they didn't have right whenever the guy came to see the game. But they said here, I want to highlight this passage. We changed a couple of things to fix this. First, we realized while there's no limit to how fast players can react, there's no limit to how fast they can anticipate. If an enemy launches into an attack string, we need to give the player enough time to react to the first attack in the string, but since subsequent attacks can be anticipated, they can happen arbitrarily fast. One of our Mongols uses a 5-hit combo, for instance. The first attack is slow enough to react to, but the others happen fast. And while one enemy is attacking you, it's not like in some of the older movies where one enemy is attacking you and everybody else is just kind of sitting there waiting to attack. It's not like that. When one enemy is attacking you, there's going to be another enemy winding up to attack you as well, so you have to be mindful of that. He said right here, we also realized that that we could overlap enemy attacks. While one enemy attacks, another enemy can be winding up. We tune things so that Jin has barely enough time to deal with each enemy attack as it lands, just like in the samurai movies that inspired us, but there will often be 2 or even 3 attackers in the middle of an attack sequence at once. And that's very interesting, like I said, because that's what you want, man. And I think that the difficulty, like if you're able to manually increase the difficulty or decrease the difficulty, I think what that is going to do is not so much make the enemies more powerful. It's going to decrease that reaction time in a sense. I don't know. It's just my assumption. But there's a little clip here of them showing Resolve, and Resolve is very interesting. Resolve seems to be, it kind of reminds me of Adrenaline. So whenever you hit attacks the right way and stuff like that, when you land attacks the right way and stuff, you gain Resolve. And what Resolve is going to do, Resolve is basically going to, not going to make you immune to damage, but it's going to make you be able to fight through taking heavy damage and stuff like that. I don't know if they talked about it there or if they talked about Resolve in one of the other sections, but I'll just watch this video real quick, and they're going to show you that right here. Let me get me out the way. Can we play that? I'm going to move me over here. Let's move me over here. Let's move me out y'all's way so y'all can see the video. And so they show him coming up against a group of enemies and see how he gets attacked from the side and stuff like that. Now, you will be able to learn. I mean, you are able to block attacks. You are able to parry and stuff like that. But the route that they're going with this is they want y'all to be able to, they want us to be able to consider going into battle. Like you see a group of people, you're going to have to think, is this a fight that I want to go into? Or do I want to try to find my way around this? And that opens up the door to like the stealth attacks and stuff like that, playing as the ghost. And you begin to see why the ghost way of playing is important in the game as well. The second area that they talked about was sharpness, respect for the katana. And this basically talks about how damage is done in the game. And they don't give really in-depth as far as how damage is done, like stuff like that. But guys, you're not going to be taking a lot. You're not going to be able to take a whole bunch of hits from the enemies. And likewise, the enemies aren't going to be able to take a lot of hits from you. In previous games, you have where you as the hero or whatever, you can dish out a ton of damage on some enemies and they can take a lot of damage, but you can only take a little bit. They talk about how they've done balancing in this game where not only can you not take a lot of hits, but your enemies can't either. They're really trying to make this game as realistic as possible, but still keep that video game-esque about it. For example, a katana swipe could kill you, but in the game, your enemies are able to take more than one swipe or slash with that sword. But they talk about blocking, parrying, and dodging right here with the sidestep. To sidestep that damage problem. Even the Mongols are going to be able to block and parry and dodge and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool as well. They say here the sharp weapons and aggressive enemies mean that death is always nearby. That sense of danger that you're never more than a few mistakes away from dying is crucial to Ghost of Tsushima's tone. Players have plenty of techniques to defend themselves and even more ways to attack. If you concentrate, if you stay focused, you'll survive the fight. If you lose focus, you'll die. We're trying to put you in Jin Sakai's footsteps. Those are the rules he is forced to live by, and they apply to you as well here. And they're just, like I said, talking about the katana, the responsiveness and things like that. And then in this next section here, they kind of go on to talk about the stance. Starting with the high level attack, only to cancel it when circumstances change is important to a high level of play. So you'll have different attacks at your arsenal. They're just talking about being able to cancel attacks. Like quick attacks are quick. You have more heavy attacks, but you know, in some games when you perform a heavy attack, you're stuck in that animation or something like that. In this game, you perform a heavy attack. Why is my arm looking that color, guys? That's the lighting. That's the lighting. My arm's not I don't know, the green is reflecting. I was like, well, my arm dead. No. Anyway, with the heavy attacks in the game, you're able to cancel out those heavy attacks. So you're not stuck in an animation that you have to follow through. So that's very, very important. That's a very big deal as far as combat goes. Here they talk about like the L1 button and how you're able to block, and if you time it right, you're able to do a parry. But you can upgrade a particular skill in the game to where when you push it at the right time, instead of doing a parry, you do what's called a perfect parry, which basically stuns the attacker and leaves him open to special devastating counterattacks, and earn Jin a big dose of resolve. And like I told y'all before, resolve is basically, it's kind of like I'm gonna just say it like this. Resolve is like a overshield in a sense. Like it allows you, I guess, to take more damage without taking direct damage to your health or something. I look at it more like adrenaline. That's what I look at it as. But as resolve is those yellow orbs that we've seen in the gameplay. That's what resolve is, and it does have something to do with your attacks and things like that as well. So resolve is going to be important. They haven't gone in depth about resolve, but when I get that information, I will share that with you. That precision carries over into player's decision making. Jin can attack his enemies in dozens of ways, but choose exactly the right attack at the right moment is crucial. And then this last part here, they're talking about the stance. And this is where I talk about, we kind of get that For Honor. You get some Neo stuff in here. Most of the samurai games, fighting games like this, they have these types of things. It's not new to video games. But stances are very important. And one stance they talk about is his stone stance, which is his ancestral style. And the stone stance is made for fighting other swordsmen. He also has a stance called the water stance. And the game says that he developed the water, Jinsakai developed the water stance because the sword stance wasn't working against the Mongols who had shields. And the water style, or water stance, is basically for enemies with shields. So enemies with swords, there's a stance that gives you that's best for fighting those types of enemies, and then the water stance is best for fighting enemies with shields. Now, there's going to be other stances in the game, and the way that they talk about it here is that as you progress through the game, you're going to find and develop new attacks and stances to be able to better fight against the enemies. But you're going to see this gameplay here where he's fighting a swordsman, and you watch he goes to the sword stance here. There he switches to the water stance. Okay. So he was in the sword stance first. I'm going to pause this real quick. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Because what I want y'all to see down here at the bottom, see this, the yellow right here? This is his resolve. Okay, let's get that on here. Can y'all see my mouse? They can't see my mouse. They can't see the mouse. Well, look at the bottom left corner. That is resolve. Those yellow orbs, that's what the resolve is. And that's what's needed on the thing. Hang on a second. Let me do this. Okay, let's get that. There we go. I had to change it up. Sometimes it freezes whenever I do that to the screen. These yellow orbs down here, that is your resolve. So Jinsakai starts out in this battle phase. He starts out in the stone stance, and that's to fight swordsmen. But you see, after he defeats him and he goes to the guy with the shield, he switches to the water stance, and the water stance is good against fighting against guys with shields. Now imagine there's going to be some guys that are going to have swords and shields, and I imagine there's going to be a stance that's going to be utilized for that. I can't wait to see that, guys. But all in all, man, this looks really cool. The game looks very good. The game looks very interesting. I'm excited for it, like I said, and they're starting to drop more and more information for it. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to hear more. There's also vendors. There's something I'll talk about with that as well. But guys, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to turn on notifications, guys, and stay tuned for more. That's all I have for right now, y'all. Till next time, thanks for watching. Peace.